Unity in faith. If there is something that literally unites us and motivates us in gathering together, it is our faith. And our faith is represented by a number of beliefs that construct the leading principles in our daily lives. And if we can be united in our daily aspect of lives, then there is no bigger unity than that. So what are some of those basic beliefs that we hold dear as an Adventist?
Why are we Seventh-day Adventists? I was born in the church, fifth generation, but I am not here because my parents told me so. You had your own journey that led you to the church, but why not any other denomination? After all, it's all about Jesus saving people, right? The church is not perfect. We also argue about theology. The lesson points to 1888, when things got really tense and hostile. Relationships were destroyed. We're going through something similar in the last few years, and it's legitimate to reevaluate why we are who we are. We do have 28 fundamental doctrines that identify us, much of which we share with other Christian denominations, but there are few areas where we have a bit more unique understandings, and they are the focus of this week's lesson study.
First and basic belief that we have is that through Jesus only is our salvation. It is a gift, it's by grace. What did Jesus do, you might ask? He came to reconcile the world with God. He came to unite what was divided since Adam and Eve. He came to live among us without sin. He suffered for our benefit. He died instead of us. He was resurrected for our hope and for our guarantee that we can be resurrected one day too.
There is no real Christianity without salvation in Jesus in its core. But because the Advent movement was born in anticipation of Jesus' return, something that we are going to talk about in a second, the urgency to proclaim the everlasting gospel, this great news about Jesus paying our price, being an atonement for us, reconciling us with God, has a special meaning. Proclaiming this to everyone around the world is an universal mission that we identify with and that we take at heart.
Jesus promised that he will come back again and he will put an end to death and destruction. Another core belief that we have. This genuinely was the most precious belief of the early church too, and it felt very tangible for them as much as they witnessed his ascending. For them, if everything Christ promised was fulfilled before their eyes, this was the only promise left that will complete their hope. We're still waiting though of his coming back because there was much more to unveil than anybody has expected. We have discovered prophecies that confirm his plan of salvation and his timing of resolution of sin and its bearer.
While some are expecting doomsday, others believe that it's going to happen in secret, and everyone has different perceptions about how this second coming will be. The hope and vivid expectation of Jesus' return is in the DNA of the Adventist movement. How we live, how we prepare, what our priorities are, it's all inspired by this desire to be reunited with Jesus very soon.
What about the question, where is Jesus now? We know he ascended and we know he's coming back, but where is he now? Only the understanding of the Old Testament sanctuary and its ceremonies can help us to come close by to what Jesus is doing right now. According to the services performed in the sanctuary, Christ appears to be our high priest. And with the help of some verses from the book of the Hebrews, the Revelation, and Daniel, we have discovered that Christ is serving there to intercede, to reconcile, and to restore our status back with the Father. We also believe that after the year of 1844, he has entered in a much different, much more particular function. Christ is participating in judgment, in the judgment and the cleansing of the sanctuary, the same sanctuary. The same thing that was happening on the Day of Atonement, also known as Yom Kippur.
The Adventist Church is often criticized for its understanding about the investigative judgment. And some may be going a bit too far by insisting on actual physical manifestations of the sanctuary. We can't pretend to understand things outside of our world and our dimensions, but God did leave us a message about that, and it's not without purpose. It provides a clearer picture about the plan of salvation and the ministry of Jesus. It also helps us understand that we live in the last phase of human history. It's not a knowledge that provides salvation, but it's an enriching and important understanding that strengthens our trust in God, in Jesus as our mediator, and helps us face the challenges of the end time.
Two more distinctive beliefs help us to express our unity in faith. The first one is the observance of the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week. And the second one is the state of the dead. The Sabbath unquestionably lets us taste what is heaven here on earth. Anybody who has experienced this blessing of keeping the Sabbath has felt part of the united community of Christ.
Why are we making such a big deal out of the Sabbath? Because it's not about one day versus another. It's about respect of God's authority as creator and sustainer of life versus human alterations. It does matter, and we do need to experience this dependence on God. It's in the base of the relationship that God created with us.
As for the state of the dead, it equals a state of asleep until Jesus comes back again. Some other people believe that our soul ascends up in heaven at the moment of our death. But this suggests that we're still alive, just in another form of our eye. Logically, it leads people to believe that they can connect with those souls. And consequently, it leads them to look for guidance and intercession on their behalf before God. But this demolishes fully what Christ's ministry stands for, and those people end up separated from God because this path leads to another master.
Without God, there is no life. There is no other source of life. There is no other life. When we die, we stop to exist. One day, when Jesus returns, we will all be brought back to life, so we can witness the culmination of the human drama and the challenge against God. The sides will be clear, the choices will be made, and justice will be restored. In essence, these are the beliefs that unite us as Seventh-day Adventists. We are sinners, we are humans, and we do need the grace and mercy of God, maybe more than anybody else. But can this faith, these beliefs that we share, translate into fervent love for the world that Jesus died to save? If this unites us, nothing will be able to separate us.
Next lesson is a little bit cryptic. The most convincing proof. See you next week.